Hi, for the record, I'm from Poland. I live in Warsaw and I'm 17.
Hi. So, the first thing I'm interested in is, did you have any education on abortion within your school system? And if so, what did it cover? What did you learn?
Okay, I wasn't educated on abortion. I've never had a proper class concerning abortion, concerning contraception, concerning sexual intercourse in general.
You never had a lesson on sex ed.
In Polish schools we don't have these classes concerning these topics, because these topics usually tend to be very, very uncomfortable for Polish people, and they are just it's very, very hard to introduce them in Polish schools because they face a big discontent from the Polish society.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Did teachers or school figures ever voice their opinions to the students, even in like a casual manner?
Um, okay, so my teachers didn't voice their opinion on abortion topic, and frankly, I can't imagine any of my teachers voicing their opinion on abortion topics, because I think it's very, very risky for them to do so. Because they are aware that there are many students that actually could go to their parents and complain, and the parents could go to the headmaster and tell him that a teacher teacher teaches their children about abortion, which is considered as a very uncomfortable topic, as a topic that Poles usually tend to avoid to a great extent. Tend to avoid and just tend to not talk about it because it's just too uncomfortable for the Poles, and it's very, very controversial in Poland.
Have you ever noticed a difference in opinion or attitude towards the topic between generations? For example, speaking to your grandparents versus your parents or your peers?
I've noticed a big difference in opinion on abortion between the generations, between my parents' generation and between my generation, for instance. So I can refer more precisely to my parents' generation. I can refer more precisely to my parents. So my parents, especially my father, is rather conservative. So he sees abortion as a very unnatural process. He's strongly against it. And my mom is more liberal when it comes to abortion, but she, besides the 3 cases when abortion is legal in Poland, so first when there is when the child comes from rape, second when the mother's life is in danger, and when the child's life is in danger. So besides these 3 cases, my mother doesn't consider abortion as a thing that that could happen on a daily basis, and that should be legal in all the cases. She doesn't see the abortion as the choice of the woman. She sees it maybe not as a murder, but more as a murder than as a choice of the woman. And when it comes to my grandparents' generation, frankly, I can't imagine talking with my grandparents about abortion. I've never tried to talk with my grandparents about abortion because it's just their opinions, their views, points of view are really, really outdated, and they are very stereotypical. They are very narrow-minded. I just this I know that this conversation would lead to nothing, and it would just create some quarrels, some unpleasant situation.
Yeah, and within your age group, what's the conversation like surrounding abortion?
I do think that within my age group there is stigma towards getting an abortion. However, I don't know anyone at my age that actually had an abortion. Of course, when I talk with my friends about abortion, we usually joke that if we actually got pregnant, we would flee to Czech Republic or Germany to get a legal abortion. Of course, it's only some sort of speculations, some sort of jokes, but I do think that there is stigma towards getting an abortion. I do think that if one of my friends actually got pregnant, they would do their best, they would do everything to get an abortion, because we are studying, we are at high school, we in the short time we are going to the universities, and none of my friends, none of the people that I know would want to have a child now when learning, when having the all of these perspectives, options. Therefore, I'm sure that everyone would do everything to get an abortion now at our age.
Lastly, I just wanted to ask about the abortion protests this April, because I know living in Warsaw, whether or not you participated, you were affected by it. Yeah, what was that situation like? I mean, did you attend? And if not, what was the attitude like towards the protests and the protesters?
I didn't participate in the abortion protests in April, or in the, as they were called, black protests. The reason behind it is because I was too young I wasn't too young to participate in them. I just wasn't really involved in the abortion topic. I just knew what the abortion is, and all the information that I got back then were the information from my parents, so I wasn't very in favor for the abortion. But I did know that the situation in Warsaw was very serious, and actually lots of people participated in these protests. It was very, very popular to participate in them, they were very popular. They became a sort of a trend, especially in social medias, especially in Facebook, where lots of women changed their profile pictures to a black, gray, dark one with a special label with the name Black of the Black protests. So even though I wasn't involved in the abortion topic at all, I knew about the protests. I knew that they were very, very serious, and I knew that they actually lasted for some days or for some weeks. It wasn't just one day protests. So the protests were a big thing in Warsaw back then.